Welcome back. Today's course, we're talking about accessibility in this section. And specifically, we're going to be going through all of these different things here. So first, let's start off with text size. So this is text size preview. We're just going to read through this real quick. The size of these words will change as you adjust the slider. Changes you make here will apply to most of the text on your device. So as you can see here, we got this button, and if we slide that, you can see that it changes in real time. So this is really handy for the elderly people or people that are vision impaired to be able to adjust the text size to their specifications. All right, so next we're going to go back to accessibility. We're going to be going to visual effects. And in this action item section, scroll bars, transparency, animation, and notification timeout. So let's click into here. And as you can see, I always have my scroll bars off. Transparency effects, it's just defaulted to that, so I always just keep that as normal. Especially animation effects, the same thing. And then dismiss notification after a certain amount of time. So Windows actually sends you notification about, you could have notifications for your widgets for like the date and time, / the weather outside, sporting events, things like that. So if I ever get a notification, or even text messages, if you hook your phone up to that and notifications through your phone to your computer, you can set when they dismiss. I always keep the default at 5 seconds. Let's go back to accessibility here. Next, we're talking about mouse pointer and touch. Mouse pointer color / size. So let's go into this section. So this gives you the ability to be able to change your mouse pointer to whatever you want. You can also change the size here. As you can see, you could have a big mouse here, but in our case, we don't want something that big. So there's different colors as well. You can have a black one, a white one, a green one, a kind of transparent one, that kind of transparents through whatever color you go through. I just like the regular one. In some cases, you can actually add and make a GIF of your own if you really want to. I remember a few years back, I was able to change my pointer and I had a running horse as the animation. So it just depends what you want. Just go back to accessibility, text color, cursor, appearance and thickness text cursor indicator. So this allows you to change the size of your text cursor. It kind of changes the background of it as well here, as you can see. I don't really need that. There's different colors, and that kind of changes the background color, your theme as well here. But we're just going to read through it. Text cursor indicator preview. Use the text cursor indicator to make your text cursor stand out in a sea of text. Here's a preview of the change. So as you can see, it's red here. So this just changes basically not the background, but just that cursor piece right there, and it changes the color, as you can see that. And then down here, text cursor thickness. So this is literally when you're typing, that's what this text cursor is. So it's not the background here, that's just part of my theme that I have. But what you're looking at is actually the blinking cursor when you're going to type something in Google, or type a document up. You can actually change that color down here. You can change the thickness of that as well. So I just keep it the defaults. I think it was around here. Let's go back to accessibility. The next is Magnifier. So Magnifier allows you to increase the size or decrease the size of any text on your computer. A shortcut method of this is the CTRL button with the plus and minus sign. You can also use, they have a suggestion here, you can use a window with the plus sign or minus sign to do that as well. When you're on web pages, I use this a lot. If I can't see something right away, or if I need it needs to be more clear, I use the CTRL button, and then I increase the size. So I'm just going to give you an example of that. Let me just bring through my course document here. And as you can see, I'm going to hold the CTRL button down. Click in here first so it knows where I'm at. But I'm going to hold the CTRL button and then the plus button. And as you can see, each time I press it, it gets bigger. And each time I do the minus, it gets smaller, as you can see there. So that's your real life example. And then you have a zoom level here. Now this option is just to change if you want to use that Windows button to use that. I always just have it off just because I like the defaults on a lot of these things. View lens, these are shortcuts for viewing. Control-Alt-L is for the lens. So let's just do that, Control-Alt-L. It's popping up here. Try it one more time. Yeah, lens isn't popping up my shortcut view. I'm not sure why, but I will look into that and get back to you on that one. But in the view, you can change the lens here. You can increase it or you can lessen it with your magnifier, just like this one. You can increase it or make it smaller. And then let's go back here. Let's go to color filters next. Color blindness filters, grayscale inverted. So this is just to change the color. There's a lot of color filters you can do just to weed out certain things. So if you had, for your vision, if it really affected you, these are different filters you can do to try to basically change it to make it less intrusive to your eyes. I always just keep it on the defaults though. And then you can decrease the sensitivity of it as well if you'd like to do that. You can even maximize the color if you wanted to do that. And then you can always reset it to the defaults. If you want to quick access it, you would just use this shortcut, keyboard shortcut for color filters, press the Windows key, the CTRL, and then the plus C. So we're going to just do that real quick. We're going to hit the Windows button, the CTRL next, hold the Windows button, then hold the CTRL button, and then hold the C button. And that will toggle it on and off, just like you saw. All right, so let's go back to accessibility, contrast, and themes. Color themes for low vision, light sensitivity. This I use a lot just because I like the different themes here, just because it's less intrusive on my eyes specifically. But this one is Night Sky. It's probably one of my favorites. So you just click on that and you can kind of see the differences between them. But where you want to do aquatic first, and then we want to apply those changes. Just going to run through this real quick, and as you can see how it changed the theme here. I want to do desert now, apply the theme. You can see how it changed it all to white. Do the dusk next, apply these. As you can see now it's more dusk. And the last one's a night sky, apply that. This makes it all black and yellow. I always just keep it on, usually I like the night sky, but lately I've been using just none, just the regular, just because I want it normal. And I'll apply the changes, now it's back to my normal settings. All right, and the last one we're gonna touch on is Narrator. So Narrator allows you to have obviously a narrator reading your screen of whatever you're looking at. I typically have that off because I am not hearing impaired, but anyone that is hearing impaired, I would definitely recommend that. If you click this drop down, you can start the narrator before you sign in, or you could start the narrator after you sign in. There's also a keyboard shortcut for this narrator, and that's by holding the Windows key down, then the CTRL button, you hold that one next down, and then the enter button, and that will toggle on and off the narrator mode. The narrator home, get help accessing settings, learning about your narrating features. So this is kind of handy. You can show the narrator home when it starts or not show it. I just leave it on the default. And then if you want more information, you can see the complete guide of the narrator, but I'm not going to go into that specifically. You can also choose the voice of the narrator. Right now I just have the default to David, but let's say I want to do George. You could always change it to whatever one you want, if you want a girl or a boy voice. You can also add natural tones. I'm not going to get into too much of that for the options. You can add legacy voices, and then you can lower the volume of other apps when the narrator is speaking. So let's say you want to listen to the narrator, but you also want to listen to your video, so you would be able to adjust the volume of the narrator's voice depending on if you wanted to hear the video or if you really wanted to hear what the narrator was saying, so you know where to go. Narrator output device, you can actually switch if you have a speaker system like I have here, or you have your own headset, you can switch it to wherever you want that audio output basically speaking to you to go. And then there's a lot of other options. We're not going to go through them all just because there's so many, but please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. They're pretty self-explanatory for those. All right, so that's all for this section for accessibility. We will finish the rest and briefly go over them for the interaction and hearing in our next video. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.